Oh, it is. It is. Monday episode of Donno Daily. Happy Monday, my friends. Here on the 5 Reasons Sports Network, 5reasons.com, YouTube. That's not the URL, 5reasonsports.com or 5 Reasons Sports on YouTube. By the way, if you're in here, you want to do us a solid, help this show, help this network because it helps everybody grow. Smash that like button. Hit the thumbs up button and make sure you subscribe to our channel. We are loaded with content. Plenty of Dolphins content, plenty of Heat content, Canes content. It's all about the U, my friends. It is all about the U. We even have Formula One content now on the channel, combat sports content, Panthers, Marlins. Oh, you got content coming out of your ears. Good afternoon to everybody in. Wow. Gus, thank you for the kind words. Anyone who would say yes to Donno Time is a friend of mine. I appreciate you, sir. Big Dan 305 is in. John Fernandez is in, and he's asking any news yet concerning Terron Armstead. That's going to be the primary focus of today's episode. Brooklyn Rob is in. I will address this in a moment, right? He sees my commentary on social media. But, man, I wanted to make sure. I'm going to keep wearing this Canes hat for the shows as long as Miami stays in the tournament. I was so proud of the Canes men's basketball team yesterday. Not only did they knock off a 2 seed in Auburn, a team that was heavily favored to beat Miami, and a team that held the number 1 ranking, I think, for most of the season, Miami beat them up wire to wire, right? This wasn't come from behind. This wasn't a close game. This wasn't a fluke. Miami throttled Auburn for 40 minutes last night to advance to the Sweet 16. I couldn't be happier, and I could not be prouder. So I will, for luck, because I'm a creature of habit and a creature of superstition, I'm going to keep, and you guys make sure you stay on me, because if I forget or something, like tomorrow, if you see me on this channel tomorrow, we're here every day at 2 p.m. If you see me start a show tomorrow wearing something other than the Canes hat, this is the specific Lucky Canes hat, call me on my BS immediately, because I'm going to have it nearby. I'm going to keep it. It's not going to leave this room. If you see me wearing a different hat tomorrow, call me out and I will put it on immediately, because I do believe I am the primary reason why Miami will win the NCAA tournament. So there is that. What up? And this would be the goal, Crash Out John, Armstead and Tretter. I have been on that train. I have been on that train ever since Tretter was released by the Cleveland Browns. He became available, and Armstead has still been available. I have been on that train. Brooklyn Rob says, Mush has something of luck. Canes should be afraid. Honestly, I did not bet on the Auburn game. I just stayed away. I did bet Miami to win the USC game, Miami money line, and they won. So I don't think my mush effect is working on them or working against them. You could say it like that. All right, so real quick, before we dive headfirst into Terron Armstead, who is visiting the Dolphins today, free agent offensive tackle, who has been a consensus top 5 free agent in this class, right? I know many of the top free agents have signed other places, but when the class was released, he has been had been ranked top 5 by pretty much everyone. He is visiting. He's probably at the facility right now, visiting the Miami Dolphins. I do want to mention, did you guys see that Matt Ryan has been traded to Indianapolis? Now, Matty Ice, not what he used to be, but he's still a very good quarterback in this league. The AFC is getting stacked with quarterbacks. Absolutely stacked. And, of course, you guys saw Deshaun Watson ending up in Cleveland. But let's talk about Terron Armstead, okay? I get a little bit annoyed with some of the reaction from Dolphin fans. It's like, do you guys not want to get better? Do you guys not want to sign the best possible players? I know most of us agree, hey, there's a left tackle out there we're going to have to pay a premium price for if he does come, but he's going to make this offensive line significantly better. That's the way you should look at this. Other people are like, no. You had to sign Collins. Armstead's going to be a bust. He's just going to be hurt all the time. This guy's not good. Why do you need a left tackle when your quarterback is left-handed? You need a right tackle. This is terrible. Same old Dolphins. Blah, blah, blah. Would you rather them not sign any of the top choice offensive tackles? And honestly, I am bullish on Terron Armstead. Okay. And okay, let me debunk a couple of things here. And obviously, I can't completely debunk the injury history because that's legitimate, right? It's legitimate. Terron Armstead has never gotten through a season completely healthy. So I can't debunk that. But let me talk about the lefty quarterback factor, okay? That there are some people out there that are like, oh no, they shouldn't be prioritizing left tackle. You really messed up by not locking up Collins or Morgan Moses or Trent Brown. Trent Brown, who's going back or he's staying in New England, by the way. That was announced here today. What are you doing with this left tackle nonsense? Guys, take a deep breath, okay? Take a deep breath and remember, despite what hand your quarterback throws with, most teams in the league line up their best pass rusher on the offense's left side. Okay. And they're probably not changing that formation just when they're going up against the Dolphins. Still, most teams line up their best pass rusher on the offense's left side. So the left tackle still has an incredibly important job to do, no matter what hand your quarterback throws with. Now, with Terron Armstead, just talking about his ability, his proven ability over the last, 8 years in the National Football League since the 2013 season, he is as good of a run blocker as he is a pass blocker. So with Armstead and also Connor Williams on the left side playing left guard, we should have success there running the football. And let's also not remember, with Tua Tagovailoa being a left-hander, because all you guys are only thinking about, some of you, drop backs, where's the pressure coming from, can he see the pressure? Let's remember, Tua Tagovailoa being a left-hander, rolling out to the left. Don't you want protection on that side? So I don't want you to complain about the fact that Terron Armstead is a left tackle when most of the top pass red. Brooklyn Rob, thank you, sir. He said what I'm saying here. Tua Tagovailoa rolls out to the left side. So you need to have Terron Armstead out on that side, man. 1,000%. 1,000 freaking percent. Okay. So I don't want to hear anyone complaining about the Dolphins prioritizing the left side over the right side. I'm not saying both sides aren't important, but Terron Armstead, by far the best offensive tackle available in this free agent class. He happens to be a left tackle. Let's not pretend that's not important on this team. Okay. Now, he's visiting the Dolphins today. He arrived last night. Okay. I did offer my services to no answer. I offered, I will show Terron Armstead the real Miami. I will take him to Zoo Miami. I will take him to Seaquarium. I will take him to the West Kendall Olive Garden for unlimited soup, salad, and breadsticks. The Dolphins did not return my call. So I hope even without me, his visit is going well. Okay. Now, there are many signs out there. Like, I want to read a couple of tweets here before I get into my takes on this. Hold on. So Adam H. Beasley from PFN tweeted out a couple of hours ago, chances are good, he said, that a deal between the Dolphins and Terron Armstead gets done, per league source familiar with the situation, right? That could be, league source could mean someone within the Dolphins organizations. More than likely what that means. Probably doesn't mean an agent, because you wouldn't call an agent a league source, but maybe you could. But trust me, Beasley's not tweeting that out if he's just making shit up, okay? Someone within a position of authority, probably within the Miami Dolphins organization, told him they're pretty optimistic this gets done, okay? He says there's motivation by both sides to work something out. The medical, of course, is a significant opponent. Barry Jackson from the Miami Herald tweeted out, if Armstead Dolphins deal happens, which many expect, the next big offensive line decision will be, one, whether to wait for the draft to find a center to compete with Dieter. I say don't wait. I say sign Treader. But obviously, Dolphins still do need to make cuts to improve the budget. And they could probably restructure some deals as well. Don't forget about that. Not only can they cut some of the dead weight to get more salary cap space, they can also potentially restructure current players to team-friendly deals. He says, and two, whether to have Robert Hunt compete at right tackle with Eichenberg. McDaniel publicly will address that and other issues next week. And again, that's all assuming Terron Armstead really does sign. And I want to remind you guys, in about 6 minutes, David says, yeah, if I took Terron Armstead on his visit, I would just scare the guy away. I don't know, man. He's a big guy. He's over 300 pounds. You telling me he wouldn't want unlimited breadsticks at Olive Garden? Just throwing that out there. I would have paid. I would have taken him to the Dade County Youth Fair, which I think is in town this week. We would have had an awesome time, man. We would have had an awesome freaking time. Okay, so now if you read between the lines here on what's been going on for the last week now since free agency opened up, and when I say the last week, I'm including the legal tampering period because you can start to talk to players as long as we go. If you read between the lines here, Miami not being aggressive whatsoever on players like Lyle Collins, who signs in Cincinnati, Trent Brown, who's back in New England or staying in New England, Morgan Moses, who ended up in Baltimore. These are all tackles, right tackles, good tackles who were available. That tells me the Miami Dolphins had been optimistic for a number of days, and they've been putting their eggs in the Terron Armstead basket. They were bearish on others because they've been bullish on Armstead. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. I know it's the Dolphins. They might find a way to fumble this at the goal line, okay? They might find a way, like he comes in for his visit and they don't have the type of coffee he likes and in the Keurig machine, and we found a way to screw this up, or they tried to change the amount on the contract, but no. I think the ball is in Miami's court here to get this deal done, and I've seen a couple people say this in the live chat, and I wholeheartedly agree. Don't let him leave without signing a contract today. Don't. It's like, you ever go to buy a car? They do whatever you can. They do whatever they can. What can I do to get you in this car today? They don't want you. The Dolphins need to do that. Do not let him leave without a signature today, okay? Now, free agent conversations, I will remind you, had been happening for a full week. So they have had plenty of time to talk with Terron Armstead's agent, maybe to talk to him personally about what sort of a deal they can give him financially. He wouldn't be coming down here for a visit a week into free agency if he didn't feel good about those terms that the Dolphins are offering, right? This visit, and I'm not the only one saying this, there are well-connected people saying the same thing. This visit is probably more about Armstead seeing the facility with his own eyes, and it's a nice facility, by the way, brand new facility in Miami Gardens, meeting everyone there, coaches and the like, getting wined and dined a little bit, okay? They're probably doing a little bit better than the unlimited breadsticks at Olive Garden, and going over the final terms of the deal. I believe that is what this visit is about. I am optimistic. And you guys know me. I'm not a Kool-Aid drinker, okay? Like Brooklyn Rob has talked about my mood swings. Let me pull up this message here. It says he loves the mush. That's me. Knee-jerk reaction to free agency. Games are not won in March. You have no idea how these players are going to fit with their new teams. Well, I'll talk about why I think Terron Armstead is going to fit like a glove here. David says, you want to hold somebody hostage? Yeah, physically, do not let him leave. Lock all the doors in the facility. Do not let him leave until he signs the deal. Okay? So no one is forcing him to visit today. I do believe that he's not doing so unless he's legitimately interested. Otherwise, if he comes down to visit, he's not legitimately interested. He's just wasting time. Like he's wasting a day in Miami when he could be making progress to signing somewhere else, okay? Now, there are reports today, multiple reports, that the Dolphins, they are offering Terron Armstead more guaranteed money than any other team is offering him. Bidding war. Dolphins are trying to win that bidding war. I am fine with that. I'm not one of these fake ass CPAs out there. A lot of Dolphins Twitter, they turn into accountants. Wait. No. I don't want to overpay for anyone. So why don't we bring in, instead of bringing in one or two top tier free agents, why don't we bring in 16 or 17 CFL type of players and we'll have all the depth in the world? Guys, no. Okay? Sometimes it's better to buy one Maserati than 11 fucking mopeds. Okay? And if the Dolphins need to overpay for one of the best tackles available, the best offensive tackle available in free agency, to make their biggest weakness into a strength, I am okay with that. You'll find a way to make it work under the cap. That's one of the things Chris Grier is really good at. You'll find a way to make it work financially. Okay, so do not complain about Stephen Ross spending his money. Okay. So yeah, the Dolphins reportedly are offering him more guaranteed than any other team. And I believe you need to be bold, right? We talked about that on Friday. Fortune favors the bold. Be bold, be aggressive. Chris Grier did promise before free agency started, back when he spoke at the Combine. Miami Dolphins GM Chris Grier promised we will be aggressive. Aggressive was his word, okay? You can't bargain hunt 100% of the time. Sometimes if you want to get a Maserati, you got to pay full price for it, okay? Now, a reservation a lot of people have. I cannot debunk this because it is what it is, right? The numbers, history does not lie here. Can we be concerned? Should we be concerned about Terron Armstead's injury history? Yes. Drafted way back in 2013. He's never played a full season in his career. He's never played a full 16 or 17 games last year. Still, despite time missed, okay, I think the juice is worth the squeeze here. Was ranked number 1, number 2, no worse than number 4 on any publication's free agent ratings before this period opened up. That's one way to say this is obviously a gifted, highly touted player. And left tackle, it's may not be a glamour position because like fans don't buy a lot of left tackle jerseys, right? Hell, if Terron Armstead signs here, I might buy a Terron Armstead jersey. But left tackle jersey, no, they buy quarterback, wide receiver, defensive back, sometimes running back. It's not a glamour position, but it's an important position. It's one of the most important positions in the NFL, okay? Terron Armstead last year only was credited in giving up 1 sack. 1 sack all year. Think about all those times we watched Tua Tagovailoa, just Jesse Davis giving up free hits. Just take it. Just go knock down my I'm just going to stand over here and not block anybody while you go and knock down my Got his ribs smashed last year, okay? So, yeah, I value an offensive tackle who was only credited in giving up 1 sack last year per Pro Football Focus. In each of his past 7 seasons, Terron Armstead has been a top 10 graded pass blocker. So that's consistency. That's not a guy who had a good year last year, wasn't so good the year prior to that. For 7 consecutive years, Terron Armstead has been rated as a top 10 pass blocker. He is in, for his career, the 95th percentile in run blocking. Only 5% graded out as higher run blockers, and that's not just for tackles. That's for offensive linemen, period. That's the part I think people don't talk about enough. Miami, remember, is going to be a run-first offense next year. That's the Mike McDaniel way. That's the Shanahan family way. He learned from that family. So, yeah, like many of you, obviously, I have some concerns about Terron Armstead staying on the field. The statistics and the history would tell you he's not going to be on the field for all 17 regular season games next year. That's something you have to be mentally prepared for. That's something the Dolphins depth-wise need to be prepared for next year, that chances are there's going to be a game or 2 or 3 where he's not able to get on the field. But some of you, I think, for lack of a more sensitive phrase, have lost your damn minds pretending that should keep the Dolphins from signing him because he's probably going to miss a few games. Like, to me, the good outweighs the bad. Like, he is so overwhelmingly gifted and talented, not only as a pass blocker, but a run blocker. You think about what the left side of that offensive line is going to look like next year. You're going to have, hopefully, and again, no deal is done yet, by the way. I don't want to make it sound like, oh my God, Donno's breaking news. They got the deal done. It's not done. I'm optimistic it will get done. Terron Armstead, free agent offensive tackle. He's in Miami visiting today. He's visiting the Dolphins facility. I'm sure they're talking about contract terms. I think they've already talked about contract terms. I think they're dotting the I's and crossing the T's today. And I think by the end of today, if not early tomorrow, we're going to be hearing some good news about him signing a deal. And this is, Dolphins, do not fumble this. Do not screw this up, because I believe this is what Miami has been planning for the last week. It's why a lot of us were uneasy about how they were not aggressive for La'el Collins, who just, he ends up visiting Cincinnati, leaving, but ends up signing his deal. We're obviously not aggressive on Trent Brown, who ends up back in New England. They weren't aggressive on Morgan Moses, who signed very early in Baltimore. The Dolphins have put their eggs in the Terron Armstead basket. And I believe that they have put their eggs in his basket because they believed they can get the deal done, and they will get the deal done. And if nothing else, maybe we got the assist from the Cleveland Browns and Deshaun Watson, right? I know one of the things Armstead was waiting for was because New Orleans, they were supposedly a finalist for Deshaun Watson, who, as of last Friday, things changed, man. Last Friday when we did our show, the two finalists reportedly were New Orleans and Atlanta. Cleveland had been eliminated. You know what Cleveland did? Cleveland basically called Deshaun Watson back and said, hey, bro, we don't care. I'm speaking for the Browns, not me, okay? I don't want anybody taking me out of context. The Cleveland Browns essentially called him and said, bro, we don't care how many people have accused you of sexual assault. We don't care that you might be suspended next year. Although I think they do care because they structured his deal as to where he's only making, I think, 1.2 million next year, and then the contract is backloaded. So that was actually smart by Cleveland because they know he's probably going to be suspended the first year, and then they'll mostly pay him the following years. But it's like, okay, we know there's a lot of baggage. We don't care. We're just going to pay you whatever you want. We're going to trade for you. You're going to sign a deal here. So Deshaun Watson ends up he had eliminated Cleveland, okay? And they come back to him, and he is signing there 5 years, $230 million guaranteed. He's making $80 million more in guarantees than any contract in NFL history. He's making more money than any great quarterback you want to bring up. Tommy Brady, Pat Mahomes, Russell Wilson. Deshaun Watson is now making more money than any of those guys. But bottom line is, with him not going to New Orleans, I think that especially opened the door for Terron Armstead to say, okay, I was interested in maybe finding a way to stay in New Orleans so I could, compete for a Super Bowl with Watson. Now that he's going somewhere where they don't need a franchise left tackle because Cleveland doesn't, we're open for business, okay? And the Dolphins have some confidence that they can get this done. Again, top 10 pass blocker each of the last 7 years, 95th percentile in run blocking. Okay. So yeah, I think the juice is worth the squeeze on this one if the Dolphins can get this over the finish line. All right, let's bring in our awesome guest today. Now, I know his Twitter timeline is blowing up because he only spits facts. He's one of the best followers on Dolphins Twitter. Listen, bro, I give you so much credit even compared to myself because I use Twitter a little bit as self-medication and therapy because during the pandemic, my therapist got a little expensive. I only self-medicate at this point. So I use Twitter as sort of my place to unwind. You actually spit facts on the daily and on the hourly on Twitter. Alf, what would you say to some of the Dolphin fans out there who they've wanted Miami to do something and make a big move in the offensive line? And then a lot of these same people are they're complaining about the idea of signing Terron Armstead. They're overthinking this, right? How can people complain about Terron Armstead potentially coming here?
Yeah, well, if we're operating on facts, it's a fact that the Dolphins' offensive line wasn't good, right?
Yes.
Now, would it be a good thing if you signed the number one free agent who also happens to be an offensive tackle? I would say that's a home run, right? But yeah, he was injured, or why is he leaving? Well, first of all, he's leaving New Orleans because they have no money. Okay,
right?
They had to move heaven and earth just to make a run at Deshaun Watson, and if you use a calculator, they still were about 10 million short. Okay. So, yeah, they have no money to pay him. And like I said earlier, I put out a tweet this morning, because I woke up to this just like you did, okay? Where I'm reading all of this and I'm like, am I taking crazy pills? Maybe I don't know what the hell I'm talking about, right? But I looked up, sure enough, on PFF, they had him ranked as their number 2 free agent behind Devonta Adams. On ESPN, they had him ranked the number 1 free agent. And on NFL Network, they had him ranked the number 1 free agent. Yeah. So if I told you your offensive tackles are bad, but you're going to get the number 1 free agent at the position, and you're going to be mad at it, then go do something else with your life. Watch another sport, okay? Because this is kind of like a good thing,
Kind of, yeah. I mean, it's an incredible. And the other thing is, we talked about the injuries. You mentioned it there. Listen, the injuries, obviously it's a concern, but to me, it doesn't outweigh the value of signing him. But then the other thing that I hear is people point out, hey, we've got a left-handed quarterback. So they're saying, no, you shouldn't be paying big time for a left tackle. You should be paying big time for a right tackle. But then, Alf, I just reminded people, first of all, most of the best pass rushers in the league line up on the offense's left side, not the right side. Tua, being a left-handed quarterback, he's rolling out more to the left. So blocking that side is very important. And also, man, the opportunity that the Dolphins will have, because they're severely upgrading the left side, because Connor Williams, his best position is left guard. You may be, again, I don't want people to think I'm saying it's done. I think it could get done today or early tomorrow. You could be about to sign an excellent left tackle, and who's a great run blocker as well, by the way. The opportunity now that Chase Edmonds, Raheem Mostert are going to have to run to the left side, bro, I'm giddy. I'm positively giddy about that.
Absolutely. And you're setting up a situation where you need a yard. You have Terron Armstead and Connor Williams to run behind on the left side, right? And as far as these arguments about right tackle versus left tackle, yeah, I agree with you that, getting hit by the blind side as a left-handed quarterback is a bad thing. But it's also really a bad thing? Going back to pass and have somebody rush right at your face because your left tackle just got demolished, right? So that should no longer be happening.
Yeah.
So it's a good thing. And I understand the age concerns. People are talking about 31. Well, for a left tackle in the NFL, 31 is the new 25, it seems.
Okay.
Because Whitworth played until he was 40.
That's
okay.
Right.
All right. And made a Pro Bowl when he was 38. All right. And won a Super Bowl actually at the age of 40. And then you have somebody like Jason Peters, who was a Pro Bowler at the age of 37, is now, I believe, 41 and still playing in the league. So, yeah, tackles tend to go a little longer. And this is a really good one, a really, really athletic one. Everybody knows, the 40 time he ran a 4.740 at 310 pounds. Okay. It's still the fastest time for the biggest guy in the history of the combine. So, yeah, it's a good thing. And this should get done. This should happen sometime today.
Yeah, and more on that for a second. Let's talk about the X's and O's of it. There are a lot of good reporters out there. I think the best guy locally, Barry Jackson, seems very optimistic it gets done. Adam H. Beasley from PFN seems pretty optimistic that it's going to get done. And listen, just you look at it logically. We've had now a week where, teams can talk to players and agents, right? I'm pretty sure a week in, Terron Armstead and his agent have a really good idea what the Dolphins are offering him. I've heard reports that the Dolphins are actually offering him more guaranteed money than any other team. And listen, sometimes it's good to outbid. I know everyone wants to look for bargains. Sometimes if you're outbidding other teams for the right piece, that's just the way that free agency works, okay? So it's my belief and my understanding that I'm not going to go as far as to say it's a formality, because if anyone can find a way to fumble this at the 1 yard line, maybe the Dolphins are the team to do that. But my belief is that Terron Armstead traveled down here last night for meetings today with optimism of getting a deal done, and that both sides have optimism of getting a deal done. Do you feel the same way, or am I overselling it a little bit?
No, absolutely. I feel the same way. I was told very early on in the process that there was a number that they had in mind, which was about $90 million for 4 years. And then, you put that number out there and you start thinking about that number to try to create what is the perfect offseason, right? Like if you're going to replace left tackle, right tackle, left guard, maybe even center, and you're going to get 4 starters. I was told very early on in the process they expected to have 2 new starters on the offensive line, if not 3. Okay? Terron Armstead would be 2. And they still have a long way to go. There's a lot of people that could shake out loose. And who knows? Maybe they find their center somewhere out in the secondary market. So, I believe that what's happening right now is that he's coming down here and they're just going to present him with a menu. Okay. They're just going to tell him, look, this is what we worked out at the numbers that we agreed upon. Because look, there's not a chance in hell that he's coming down here without an agreement.
Right,
Like,
because he'd be wasting. I know some people like, oh, he just wants to come down, see Miami, they're going to buy him food and stuff. He'd be wasting time. Like if he comes
yes,
down here not thinking he gets a deal done, he's
yeah.
wasting a day where he could be
Yeah,
negotiating
yeah,
somewhere else.
he's working on making 80 to 90, maybe even $100 million. I don't think he cares about a meal in Prime 112. All right. Like he could go have that meal afterwards, right? So he's
Yeah,
coming
right.
here knowing, okay, the money is on the table. This is what I'm getting. And I think that what they're doing is they're presenting him with a menu of things he can do. Maybe a 5-year deal, maybe a 4-year deal, maybe it's a 2-year deal. Maybe it's a 2-year deal. He bets on himself, and then he hits the market again at 32 years old. You know what I mean? Like that's not a bad thing either. That's really betting on yourself. So who knows what they're doing as far as getting that done today? But I believe that that's what's happening today. They're presenting him with options that he can complete, and it'll be up to him really. Like he'll just decide, you know what? Give me the entire thing. Give me the 5 years or give me the 4 years. Let's figure this out. Where are my option years? How much am I getting paid in year one? I believe what's happening today are the formalities of getting the deal done.
Now,
But I believe the deal will get done.
yes, I believe it will as well. If it doesn't get done, though, will you start to look at this free agent period being a failure for the Dolphins? Because I think if they don't address offensive tackle with a top tier starter like Armstead, then and I like some of the moves they've made, but I think if you fail to address your biggest need with a big time player, if they don't get this done, I will look at this free agent period as a failure.
Yeah, the only way it doesn't get done is if he doesn't check out medically, right?
Okay.
And
Which wouldn't really be our fault then if it
right.
plays out
If
like
he
that.
doesn't check out medically, and that should be happening sometime today as well. I'm told that there's really nothing to worry about. He will check out. So I really don't see the obstacle in getting this done. It has to be something completely out of left field that I don't know about or that nobody else knows about.
Right.
But this should get done, and if it does get done, they've gone a long way to fixing this offensive line. And it also says something about it's an evolution, right? And it's an evolution for the better. Like Mike McDaniel gets here. He says he's very much aware. One of his first interviews that he did down here, he says, I'm very much aware the issues with the offensive line. He proceeds to then hire 4 coaches, which are somehow tangentially connected to the offensive line. So it seems like, he made it a priority and a mission, right? And it also seems like he's decided, Austin Jackson is probably not going to be a player for me. And if he's not going to be a player for me, he's going to have to probably compete with Liam Eichenberg for that last spot, wherever it may be on the offensive line. But it sure as hell won't be on the left side. Well, that's already done. That's Armstead and Connor Williams.
Okay, so let's pick the rest of that apart a little bit, knowing, like you said, there could still be other signings. We still have the draft to come. But as now, and again, this is the if Terron Armstead does sign in Miami, then yeah, you've got your starting left tackle, you've got your starting left guard. What do you think are the best options for center, right guard, right tackle?
Well, I think center, we don't know who it is yet. He's not on the roster. He's either a draft pick or he's a free agent signing. If I had to bet, I think that they're just, they're worrying about squaring this away because this is a pretty big piece. You're going to have to fit him in under the cap. You're going to have to work with the contract to make sure that you have enough left over to sign your draft class and possibly another player, maybe that center that we're talking about. So I believe that the center is not on the roster. Yeah. I believe like if I was going to give odds for Michael Dieter to hold on to that job, 25% maybe, like, a 1 in 3 chance at holding on to that spot. And then it's probably because maybe they got outbid for the right guy, whoever that right guy may be, or maybe they couldn't draft him, right? But as far as right guard, I really do believe they want to make Robert Hunt work. And I think right tackle is probably up to one of the 2 guys, Austin Jackson or Liam Eichenberg. I believe that they know and they think that a move of last resort could be just moving Robert Hunt right back to right tackle.
Yeah. Which I wouldn't hate that. And I think that out of all the musical chairs of linemen the Dolphins had last year, Robert Hunt to me is the guy I thought stood out most on that entire unit.
Yeah, and I believe that, they feel as if Terron Armstead doesn't fix only one position. I think he fixes like 2 or 3 on the line because it begins to put guys into their roles, right? Begins to slot them right back in. And it still keeps them with all of the versatility. right? Because Connor Williams has played left tackle before. So I'm told that he was told you're playing left guard, but you're going to cross train as like a backup left tackle. Like, let's say something goes down and they have to shuffle people around. They know they can move certain people around, and they can move Connor Williams to left tackle if need be. But as of right now, that's locked up, and it's starting to, you're starting to see the vision unfold.
Before we let you run, got to talk about the Cleveland Browns. So they end up they got it done for Watson. They were out of the running, and then they came back with probably numbers Watson never thought he would see written down on a piece of paper in his entire life. So as for what they traded for him, Cleveland sent 3 first-round picks, including number 13 overall this year, a 2023 third-round pick, and a 2024 fourth-rounder in exchange for Watson, and a fifth-rounder in 2024. But and that's kind of what we knew that Houston was looking for in the deal. But I thought the craziest part of this is the contract, guaranteed money, $230 million over 5 years. He's getting $80 million more guaranteed than any other player in NFL history has gotten on any contract. They're taking a huge gamble, and obviously they're already having a lot of their fans are reacting a certain way, rightfully, and I understand it. Listen, what he's been accused of, I can completely understand a lot of the negativity that they're getting from their fans. I think their thinking is, if we win a Super Bowl with this guy, then no one. This is their words, not mine. If we win a Super Bowl with this guy, no one's going to care about the allegations at the end of the day. But that's crazy money, Alf. Like that is, you think about all the great quarterbacks in the NFL, and now Deshaun Watson is going to make that much more than anybody else in the league. That's silly money to me.
It's $90 million more than Patrick Mahomes got guaranteed. 90. So think about it. He is getting a Duncan Robinson contract over what Patrick Mahomes got. Okay? So, yeah, it's complete desperation, but you could pat yourself on the back if you win a Super Bowl, but it's entirely possible. I don't know if they missed the playoffs, but it's possible. They can miss the playoffs.
Well, especially you look at all the quarterbacks in the AFC now. It's like, bro, can you get the Dolphins to the NFC? Can we make that a thing? Because it's a gauntlet now in the AFC.
Yeah, like and the good thing is, because I've heard it all day. Oh, the Dolphins have to go. Who's available? Go get Aaron Rodgers now. No, it doesn't work that way. The Dolphins have tried to tell you, look, we're going to try to win a different way. We're going to run the ball. We're going to play defense.
Right.
Okay. We're going to try to bore you to death, and then we're going to at the end of the game, look up at the scoreboard, and we got more points than the opponent, right? And that's how it's happened. Look, we saw it last year. We saw it all year last year. Okay, the number 1 seed in the AFC had Ryan Tannehill as their quarterback. Okay, was he the catalyst? Was he the driving force behind that team? No, it was their top-ranked defense and a running game, right?
Right.
Well, we're essentially trying to replace Tennessee. Okay.
Right. And and get knocked out by a real quarterback in the playoffs. And by the way, when I say this, like I hope people understand this. Sometimes I have fun with it. I troll Tua a little bit. This doesn't mean I wanted Watson. Like people, it's very like talking about these quarterbacks, Alf, it's like talking politics. Like if I were to say something negative about Joe Biden, people would wrongly assume, oh, this guy must love Trump. If I say something negative about Tua, people assume this guy must have loved Watson. Bro, I live my entire life in the gray area. I'm not a Democrat or a Republican. I'm not a Tua non or Watson stan. I'm somewhere in the middle on all these things.
Yeah, and I also love how people just assume, oh, so he's not getting charged criminally, and he got all this guaranteed money, so he's a changed man now, right? So
it's a lot of massages he can buy with that money.
Okay, so what's keeping him from getting into the news maybe next year, maybe the year after, with another accusation? And last I checked, these 22 civil cases have not gone away, right?
No.
So this is going to drag on, and then the league is still going to step in. And I think it's instructive that Cleveland is making the cap charge $1 million in year 1, which kind of tips their hand that they think up to a 1-year suspension is in the offing. And what I find interesting is that Stefanski is the head coach there. He was coach of the year, by the way. And then he might have to go an entire year with
Jacoby.
Yeah.
Jacoby Brissett.
Jacoby Brissett as the starting quarterback. And then, of course, they're going to have an awful year. Then you think to yourself, oh, yeah, but if they have an awful year, they still get the high pick. And then Watson comes in. No, they traded that high pick.
That's right. Yeah.
So they could have a disaster season, get everybody fired, and then Deshaun Watson gets to pick the coach too. So I don't know. It's he's a fabulous player. I've always liked him as a quarterback. In my opinion, he's a top 5 guy.
Oh yeah.
But does he come with baggage? Yes. The luggage he comes with is plentiful. Okay. This could easily blow up in their face.
Right. And listen, if it does end up working for them, and the words I never think I would put in the same sentence, if the Cleveland Browns win a Super Bowl with Deshaun Watson, then okay, then the roll of the dice worked. All I'm saying is, and all you're saying is, there's a chance it doesn't, and if it doesn't work, that team's in big trouble long term, man. Big trouble. Hey,
yeah, it could be this could be a historic mistake.
Yeah.
This will either be celebrated. Here's the thing, there's many ways this could go wrong. Okay, what if they play entertaining football for the next 10 years, but they never win anything? Is that enough?
Not for me.
Because that's likely. Like that could be how they justify this trade in 10 years.
But they were already, I would argue they were doing that already with Baker Mayfield. Like they were playing entertaining football. I mean, sometimes he threw a lot of interceptions, which for me was kind of entertaining to watch, but they were playing not for them. But still, like they were playing and Baker had a really good year a couple of years ago. They're playing some entertaining football, not winning anything. So it's like, all right, you're just switching quarterbacks.
Yeah, like I tell Dolphin fans, I tell Dolphin fans this all the time. Where you want to get to is where you're playing entertaining football year in and year out, where you're making the playoffs every single year and you're in the conversation, and then you just worry about winning a Super Bowl, right?
Right.
That's where you want to get to. Is that going to be enough? Because that could likely be what Watson produces over the next 10 years. Now if he wins one, Cleveland fans will tell you this. They don't care. Just win one, and that's enough for us. So I guess that'll be a success.
It's a loser city.
It could also be a disaster. It could also be a disaster. Like, we know that.
Yeah, well said. Hey, let the people know when is the next 3 yards per carry dropping this week. And I'm guessing if something happens with Armstead here, you guys will do like an emergency pod. Like, when can we expect one to drop?
Yeah, if it happens, maybe today, who knows? If it happens tomorrow morning or whatever, we'll likely have like an emergency pod. If not, we're going to have a podcast, our regular podcast, on Wednesday. And as soon as the free agent period starts to die down, you're going to see 2 episodes a week as we talk draft and we break down every single position in this year's NFL draft.
Beautiful. Alfredo Arteaga, huge part of 3 yards per carry here through the 5 Reasons Sports Network. Give my best to Chris and Simon, and I look forward to the next episode whenever it does drop, my friend. We'll see you.
All right. Thank you for having me.
I love it. That was great. Man, I was tweeting earlier that I am and I remain optimistic Terron Armstead is going to sign his deal in Miami. Some people are like, wait, you optimistic? Hey, just because I joke around sometimes about the quarterback doesn't mean I can't be optimistic. This one, again, the ball is in Miami's court. The only way Terron Armstead doesn't sign his deal, possibly today, maybe tomorrow, is if something unforeseen happens or if his knee is so bad he fails the medical. And like Alfredo was saying, no one's expecting that. Like, I think you have a pretty good idea coming in. Like, if his knee was so bad that he wasn't going to pass the physical, there would be some scuttlebutt around that. Like, there would be, oh, we're a little bit worried about this. Someone would say that there'd be a leak somewhere. I mean, everyone seems optimistic that he's going to pass the physical. And again, guys, we're a week in to negotiations here, right? Free agency, the legal tampering period started 1 week ago. Conversations have been had to this point between the Dolphins, Armstead's agent. I'm sure Terron himself is fully aware of what Miami can offer him. He's not coming down here, taking the time or wasting the time to come here in person, pay the visit. If he didn't have a pretty good idea, these are terms he can agree with, that he wants to be here, wants to play here, and wants to sign for the money the Dolphins are offering him. And yeah, I've seen it reported. I can't verify this for a fact, but I've seen it reported that the Dolphins are offering him more guaranteed money than any other team has to this point. And sometimes to get nice things, you have to outbid other people. So I can already hear what people are saying. Oh, see, the Dolphins, they just need to pay people more to come. That's how free agency works. Like sometimes you have to outbid other teams to get the players you want. You can't shop from the bargain bin for anybody. Like you can't buy all of your suits at TJ Maxx. Sometimes you need to go to Armani. And that's what you have to do for a premier essential position like left tackle on an offensive line that was worse in the NFL last year, okay? You want to improve that O-line, and, Dolphins don't have nearly as much money today as they did a week ago, but you still have the budget for this. You can afford it. You address your biggest area of weakness, and you turn it into a strength. So I am all for it. I am all for it, and I would be very surprised if a deal does not get done this week for Terron Armstead to be a Miami Dolphin. So that's where we are. That is where we are, my friends. And yeah, I started the episode with this. I know some of you hop in, late, you hop in throughout the show. How dare you be tardy? Mandatory attendance, 2 p.m. sharp every single day. How dare you be late? I'm gonna start running this like remote learning. Like I'm gonna start running the show like a Zoom class where if anybody pops in late, how dare you? Like I saw my guy Chris Adams, Finn's Tailgate. He admitted he was a little bit late today. Shame on you, Chris. I'm bumping your grade down from an A+ to a regular A for being a few minutes late to the show today. But yeah, huge congratulations to the Miami Hurricanes hoops team. I know not everybody who watches these is a Hurricanes fan. If you're not a Hurricanes fan and you root for another university in the state of Florida, you're already losers because Miami was the only team from the state of Florida in the NCAA tournament. Now we're in the Sweet 16. Took out USC in round 1. Took out vaunted Auburn in round 2. Miami clowned Auburn. We take care of the basketball. Guard play is superb. Frustrate other teams defensively. Jim Larinaga, this is the best coaching job he's done to date at Miami. I'm not going to say best coaching job ever because he got George Mason to a Final Four. That was incredible. But for as long as Coach L has been at the U, this year is the best coaching job he's done. This team was not good last year. They are excellent now, and I think we're going to be talking about, at the very least, Elite Eight for this Miami team. We're making a deep run, man. Can get to I think this program's never been to the Elite Eight before, right? We've had a few Sweet 16 appearances, never been to the Elite Eight. I think we're going to make history for the program. And Miami didn't just win that game. They led the entire game against Auburn. Wire to wire. Unbelievable. Got mostly transfers on that roster. Listen, when you have, trouble recruiting because the FBI BS lingered for Miami, unfortunately, and it hurt several recruiting classes, and you've got a guy like Coach L who can attract some top transfers, you do whatever you have to do. And the transfers in basketball, they hit different because in football, you're talking about bringing in a transfer player who's one of 22 starters. When you bring in basketball transfers, one of 5 guys on the floor at any time, you can make a supreme difference with just a couple of players. So this has been awesome. This is a good question here from Martina. Which is the better move, Donno? La'el Collins at $10 million a year or Armstead at $20 million a year? Both carry different risks. Now, if you're asking me, I think it's a wash. I could have done either of those. Now, the reason why last week I was really frustrated that the Dolphins weren't aggressive for La'el Collins was I think, rightfully concerned that if the Dolphins essentially passed on Collins. Now, if the Dolphins had been aggressive, he still might have chosen Cincinnati anyway. I get that, right? A team that was just in the Super Bowl last year. Maybe the Dolphins just couldn't compete, but I thought the Dolphins should have been more aggressive on Collins. They essentially just let Cincinnati have him. And I was worried about that because I didn't really know where Armstead's head was at a week ago. Because I think Armstead wanted to play with Deshaun Watson in New Orleans. And with Watson not signing in New Orleans, I think that kind of opened his mind. Okay, I'm going to look at, who's next in line. I'm going to kind of open myself up. I do rate La'el Collins. I know that I didn't really ask Alfredo about this. I know Alfredo just thinks Collins is like kind of an average or an above average player. When we're talking about him costing probably about half of what what Terron Armstead would cost. I think it's about a wash because the thing with so if you had signed Collins for that money, because that's what he ended up getting from Cincinnati, he ended up getting basically the same money that he had on his previous contract that the Cowboys cut him from. Then you would have had more money to spend elsewhere, like on a starting caliber center. So I could have justified that. So we're only talking about the prices because Terron Armstead, far and away a better offensive tackle than La'el Collins. Better pass blocker, better run blocker. Both guys have had injury histories, so that's not really a huge weight on either side of it. Just with Collins, what I liked about Collins was you would have saved money and had more money to spend elsewhere. But listen, I give the Dolphins credit. As long as they get this done, they've got to get this Armstead deal over the finish line. The Dolphins, I think, for the past several days have identified Armstead as our guy. We're getting positive signals from his people that he's open to our terms. We don't want to settle, right, and blow our financial wad on somebody else when we could have had Armstead. So the Dolphins identified their guy for the last several days, and they didn't waver from it. They had an idea that this was in the bag. Now, if the Dolphins find a way to fumble this at the goal line, the complexion of my show is going to be a lot different tomorrow. We're going to be very angry tomorrow, but I don't think we're going to have to be angry tomorrow because I think Terron Armstead is coming here. So Armstead, better overall player than Collins. And I know for anybody who joined us late, you're going to say, well, hold on, Collins is a right tackle. Our quarterback's blind side is the right side. Therefore, we should invest more on the right side. Not necessarily, guys. You have to consider a few things. Despite what hand your quarterback throws the football with, the majority of teams in the NFL line up their best pass rushers on the offense's left side. So your left tackle is usually seeing better pass rushers on that side. So no matter what your quarterback's blind side is, you want to be blocking the best pass rushers. Since Tua is a lefty, he's primarily rolling out to the left side, and you're going to have hopefully Armstead out on that left side. And Armstead's an excellent run blocker, and this is going to be a run-first offense. So I don't want people stressing out over the left side, right side thing, okay? Blocking the blind side is important, of course, but still blocking the left side, even if your quarterback is lefty, that's incredibly important. And also, listen, just want to throw this out there. What if Tua isn't your quarterback 2023 and beyond, right? What if he doesn't have an excellent year this year? What if the Dolphins do replace him? 99% likely if they replace him, it's going to be with a right-hander because there are no left-handers out there in the pipeline that I know of. Tua is the only left-hander right now in the NFL. I don't think any of the guys who are going to be coming out of college next year are left-handers. So you're going to be replacing him. If you replace him, you're going to be replacing him with a right-hander, and then you're going to be thankful you've got the franchise left tackle. So you have to think about that as well. That listen, many of you are Tua-non. Even though I'm not, I want Tua to be the guy because I don't want the Dolphins to have to look again. So hopefully Tua is the guy. But if he's not, you're going to have an elite left tackle. I love it. Nicole says, now you're talking. Yeah, Nicole is not Tua-non. Neither am I. I want to go through some Actually, before we go through some shout-outs, I want to remind you guys, there are 3 major ways that you could support this show and this network. The first of those, completely free. I mean, the show is free, but if you want to support us completely for free, and it does help, smash the like button. Hit that thumbs up button and make sure you subscribe to our channel, 5 Reasons Sports on YouTube. No matter what sports and teams you're into, we have content for you. There's so much on this channel. 5 Reasons Sports on YouTube. Subscribe. And watching this video right now, hit that thumbs up button. We're on a nice streak. We are on a nice streak for the past several days going over 100 likes. If we go over 100 likes every show this week, I'm going to do a giveaway next week. I'm going to give you guys something like potentially a quarter deck gift card or maybe like a piece of memorabilia. We're going to work something out where we're going to start giving away prizes, but we have to keep hitting 100 plus likes per day. So if you want to win some swag or maybe some money to grab dinner, make sure you smash that thumbs up button and subscribe to our channel. So that's the first major way to support us. You can also, completely optional, because it doesn't cost any money to chat with us. The live chat is free. But if you do want to throw us a little tip, you can do it on the super chat. You can give us a donation through the super chat on YouTube. And it's a nice way to give us your gratitude for the show. And if you do leave us a super chat, guarantees you we're going to read your message on the show. We read as many messages as possible, but if you leave a super chat, 1,000% we will read it on the show. And then the other way to support us, and this is a lot of stuff you guys are going to need anyway, right? Support our sponsors, because the sponsors keep the lights on. If you want me to do show, I shouldn't phrase it this way, because some of you would probably rather me do the show in a badly lit basement so you don't have to see my face. But if you want us to keep the lights on here, you want to support our sponsors. Quarterdeck Seafood Bar and Neighborhood Grill. Guys, this is the spot to watch every UFC pay-per-view fight for zero cover charge. Watch that college basketball tournament. Miami is still dancing. Watch the Canes at the Quarterdeck. They got flat screen, high-def TVs covering every wall. It's a great place to watch every game, great place to watch every fight for no cover charge. The Quarterdeck Seafood Bar and Neighborhood Grill, the food is delicious. I get hungry when I start to think about that fresh mahi-mahi, when I start to think about the all-American burger and the French dip beef sandwich and the jerk chicken sandwich. Oh, my mouth starts watering. The food is so good. It's a great place to wet your whistle. At the Quarterdeck, they have 2-for-1 happy hour all day, every day. The happy hour literally never ends at the Quarterdeck, and the beer is always so cold. Guys, if you haven't tried the Quarterdeck yet, what are you waiting for? If you haven't been out to the Quarterdeck in a while, because I know a lot of people's restaurant habits maybe changed during the pandemic, you can order out. You can order and pick up at the Quarterdeck, or just go in there and have a blast, man. You're going to make some friends. You're going to meet some new people. Locations all over Broward County. If you want to find the location nearest to you and find out why for 10 years I have been singing the praises of the Quarterdeck, check out their website and find your location at quarterdeckrestaurants.com. You can also check out the menu while you're there. Pick out what you want before you get there. quarterdeckrestaurants.com. The Quarterdeck, come for the food, stay for the fun. Guys, Brooklyn Rob will be shocked to hear this. I am in the green the past 4 days, betting on the college basketball tournament. I've actually been winning more bets than I've lost. Yes, it's true. At betus.com. Also had a great UFC betting sheet this past weekend. We did really, really well on that. betus.com. It's America's favorite sports book. Fully available in Florida, by the way. Online sports book. All the features available in the state of Florida. Get on it, my friends, and sign up today. If your bracket's already busted, maybe you'd rather bet on games individually and win money and not have to wait, like another week and a half to see how you do. BetUS.com. They got live betting on everything. Bet on the college basketball games, bet on the NBA, NHL, international soccer, baseball when that gets going in the regular season, even help spring training if you're feeling froggy. You can bet on anything you can imagine at BetUS.com. And guys, when you sign up, we've got the best deal in the industry for you. When you sign up at BetUS.com, make sure you sign up with our code, because we're giving you a 125% sign-up bonus. You will not find a bonus like that anywhere else in the betting space. Sign up today. Use our code when you deposit, 5RSN125. If you don't think you're going to remember it, write it down and thank me later. 5RSN125. When you type that code in with your deposit, they're going to give you a 125% sign-up bonus. That means if you deposit, for example, you can deposit more than this and still get the full bonus. But if you deposit $100, they're going to give you $125 on top of your deposit in free play money. You're more than doubling your money, man. You're not going to find this anywhere else. Live betting on live sports. Bet before the game, bet during the game. They also have a full casino on the site. Sometimes I go on there and I play blackjack for real money. You can bet as little as $1 and you're winning cash. You can bet more if you're a high roller. Full casino. It's like having Las Vegas on your smartphone. So sign up today, betus.com with our code 5RSN125. You bet, you win, you get paid. betus.com. I think David he's enjoying free agency. Good old free agency. The NFL has mastered the art of keeping themselves relevant all year. I think there's just a couple of weeks all year where there's nothing going on. It's that, I don't know if it's 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever it is, between mini camp and training camp. There's like a few weeks where it's just radio silence in the NFL, but that's like 3 weeks out of 52. There's always something going on. If there's not training camp or preseason or regular season or postseason, You're talking about the combine. You're talking about free agency. You're talking about the draft. You're talking about mini camps and OTAs. Like, there's always something happening in the NFL, save for a couple of weeks all year. It's incredible. Anyone out there who thinks, oh, what am I, like, anyone who creates content, your radio host, and I do some of that as well on AM radio, or you're a podcaster, a YouTuber, you talk football. I never want to hear anyone who's in the content game like saying, "Oh, what am I going to talk about when it's not football season?" You kidding me? Like, it's always football season, man. It's always football season. So yeah, I love free agency. Brooklyn Rob thinks I overreact to it a little bit. I live for it. I live for it. I live for the combine. I live for the draft, free agency, all of it. Big Jim, hello. If Tua doesn't work out, we will be set back for the next 10 to 12 years because the great QBs in the AFC aren't going anywhere, especially since we gave up on Deshaun Watson. The AFC is stacked. There's no question about it. Now, if Tua doesn't work out, it's a good quarterback class next year. Don't screw it up and pick the wrong guy. Like, that's all I'm saying. Yeah, hello, Chris, the Finns Tailgate. We love you. Nicole, thank you so much. Let's just hope Tua has 2,000-yard backs. The AFC is stacked. Have a chance if we don't get 14 points behind. It's true. Playing from behind may not be our strong suit. We will see. AB, don't worry, guys. Watch it. It's still coming. Yeah, maybe in a couple of years, he'll be unhappy in Cleveland. He'll request a trade out of Cleveland. We will see. Brooklyn Rob, I think Mush should do a show from the Big John Stud studio. The lights are never on there. Yeah, if you don't support our sponsors, it's going to look more like this. That's what's going to happen. If you guys don't go to the quarter deck, if you don't sign up for betus.com, this is how the shows are going to look. How dare you? No, you want to see my beautiful face. Big Jim, thank you so much. Oh, Bleezy. Yes, he says if we keep getting 100 likes every show, give away a slice of the key lime cheesecake of the court. Well, this is definitely we can maybe even do more than this. I do have quarter deck gift cards. So if we keep hitting 100 likes, and I want more, like I don't want to settle for, I want 1 million likes. But if we keep getting 100 plus likes every show this week, we are going to be giving away quarter deck gift cards because I do have some of these on my person. I think I got to double check how much these are. They're either $25 or $20. Either way, it's either 25 or $20 of food, which is all, and booze, which is amazing. Mace Taggart, thank you so much. Thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate you. Playmaker. Oh, is that Ty from the Bronx? Dude, Ty. I love this dude. Oh my God. Oh my God. So when I for like 5 years, and I loved that time slot. For like 5 years, I was doing evenings 6 to 10 on QAM. Eventually I moved to midday, and I really missed the evening. But when I was doing the evening show on QAM, Ty in the Bronx, bro, he used to call. I love this dude. He used to call the show like every night, and it was like it was part of my daily ritual was talking with Ty from the Bronx. I love this dude. Ty, thank you so much for finding us, man. I hope to see you in here every day now, 2 p.m. every day, man. This brings me back. He was one of my absolute favorite callers from the old evening show that I did. Like I think probably there were a bunch of cool regulars, but Ty from the Bronx I loved. Jerome, who would always call in, "Hey brother Alex," like he was really just nice, just really nice, positive dudes, both of them. I miss these guys. Mike, thank you so much. I think what he's saying there is done, as in he hit the like button. Thank you so much for smashing the like button. I hope everyone does. I try to shout out everybody. Oh, Tony 2 times wants the Gus Frerotte jersey. Honestly, I would consider it, right? If that's something you guys would want. I will ship it to anybody because it's like I'm not married to the thing. It's my most random piece of memorabilia, the Gus Frerotte jersey that you see hanging behind me. If it would give you guys more incentive to hit the like button every day, support our sponsors. If you want me to give away at the end of this the Gus Frerotte jersey, I will do it. Like I'm not really going to miss it. Like if I were to ship the Frerotte jersey to one of you guys, I'm not going to wake up like in a cold sweat the next morning like, "Oh, I miss my Gus jersey. Why did I give away my favorite piece of memorabilia?" I hang it behind me because It's just so random. It's a game, and it's game worn. Game worn by Gus Frerotte. His 1 year with the Miami Dolphins, 2005, against the Atlanta Falcons. Unfortunately, the Dolphins did lose that game, but that is Gus Frerotte's game-worn jersey from that afternoon, and it's autographed. So, hey, if that's incentive for you guys, I will give away the Gus Frerotte jersey. Lewis Sung Sr., thank you so much. We appreciate you, man. And, of course, make sure you guys are following. Follow Lewis Sr. and follow Lewis Jr. Lewis Jr. is our pal Lewis D. Sung from the 5 Reasons Sports Network. Great part of our NFL coverage. That dude is a workaholic, and he's a great writer, Lewis Jr. Lewis Sr. is just a great all-around dude. So just an awesome family. Make sure you support these guys. All right, let's see. Eric, thank you so much. I totally disagree with throwing everything we got to a part-time player. Yeah, talking about Terron Armstead. I think he's good. I think he's good enough that you have to have a little bit of faith into hoping that he plays most games, knowing what kind of a difference he can make on that offensive line. And it's not like he's the only person we're going to be signing. I mean, we've already addressed. Again, I'm such a big fan. I sometimes refer to the Dolphins as we because I love them. They have already signed 2 running backs. They've signed, well, technically 2 wide receivers, but the second of those was more of a special teams player. They have signed a guard. So they signed a backup quarterback, because essentially backup quarterback last year was a cadaver. Jacoby Brissett was a corpse last year. So they've signed a backup quarterback. It's not like they brought back a lot of their defensive players, including Ogba, which was a good move to bring him back. And they brought back Gesicki. So it's not like they've done, you're not spending all of your budget on one guy. But Terron Armstead, he would be the top free agent you've signed. Like, out of everybody you've signed so far, like, I like Edmonds, I like Cedric Wilson, sorry. But Terron Armstead would be the highest caliber of player you're going to be signing. So, and I get it. It's not perfect. He's not a perfect signing because he has missed time every single year in the NFL. So I understand your reservations. I'm just telling you, you're wrong. You could have reservations, but you're way off on that reservation. Go out and get him. Dennis, thank you so much. And yeah, I did. And by the way, a lot of you were sending us free agent updates, and I didn't necessarily see all of these. Like, I didn't see this until I saw some of the messages came in. Jameis Winston, 2 years, $28 million with the Saints. So hey, they lose out on Watson. They got Jameis, who was the number 1 overall draft pick not too long ago, by the way. And another one, and people were pointing this out in the comments. I had actually meant to talk about this a little bit right when the episode started, but I got a little sidetracked with all this Armstead stuff. I'm sad that Duke Johnson signs in Buffalo. It just makes me sad. And so Duke is going to be a Bill next year. I liked Duke. Like, he would probably have been 3rd in the pecking order if he'd come back to Miami. Would be probably 3rd in the pecking order behind Edmonds and Mostert. Mostert does get hurt quite a bit though, so we would have seen some Duke. And Duke is better, than Myles Gaskin, but Myles Gaskin's still under contract. Duke was not. He was a free agent. So I'm not surprised Duke ends up going somewhere else. I just wish it wasn't in the division, because Duke Johnson, I know he wasn't here for very long. It's Miami's best running back last year. 200-yard games. Like, nobody else could pick up any yards last year except for Duke. Like, Duke actually made you think, hey, maybe this offensive line is not like they're terrible. Maybe they're not as terrible, because Duke is actually picking up some yardage behind these guys. I'm sorry to see him go, and I'm sorry to see him go to Buffalo especially. Revo, thank you so much. Tremendous Canes W. Indeed. Can't remember if I shouted you out already, but there you are. Let's see. Austin. Yeah, seriously. Anyone who shows up late, detention. I'm going to start running this like remote learning. Right? Let's do it. I know you guys are tired of remote. I don't know if we have any students who watch. Maybe we do. Maybe we don't. But you guys were doing that remote learning thing for a long time. So I'm sorry to bring you back into that. Let's see. John Fernandez, thank you. Yeah, this will kill the Browns if they don't win it all. And I think when you make a move this aggressive, like, you have to be thinking at some point during this lucrative 5-year contract you've given to Watson, the goal has to be to win a Super Bowl. And if you don't win a Super Bowl, you didn't meet your goal. You're setting your franchise. If it doesn't work out, you're setting your franchise back to make this move. It's a gamble. It's bold, right? Nolan. Hello, Nolan. 40 million in dead cap. Who is that? Is that the Brown, or no, is that Atlanta from trading Matt Ryan, or is that that might be the Saints? I'm not sure who he was talking about there. That's a lot of dead cap, no doubt. Samuel, thank you so much. Yeah, another one. Thank you. I don't know if you had it first in the chat. Somebody did. Maybe it was you. That Jameis Winston re-signing with the Saints. And again, I'll throw out the same disclaimer I throw out every day. I try to shout out everybody. I'm going to miss a few people because I'm scrolling up manually. If I miss you, don't take it personally. If I didn't shout you out today, chances are I will tomorrow. I try to hit everybody, but I'm going to scroll past a few people by accident. JMill845, thank you so much for watching. Hank, I like it. I like that name. It's like short and to the point. Hank. Hammer and Hank Goldberg. I knew a guy in high school who went by Hank. I don't know what he's doing these days. I hope he's well. Maybe this is the Hank I'm talking about. I don't think so. Center is Zion Johnson, he says. Jake Jones, thank you so much for tuning in. Supreme Shock, thank you. My guy Trevor, TH from the 203. Love this dude. Thank you for checking in. Let me do a few more, and then we'll get out of here for this episode. Oh, and by the way, if you guys, if you want to listen tonight in about 3 hours, a little less than 3 hours, I am going to be filling in for our boy Blue, Larry Bluestein, for his radio show. He's getting better, so eventually he's going to take back over and kick my butt to the curb. But I'm filling in again on the South Florida High School Sports Report tonight, 6 to 8 p.m. on 560, filling in for Larry Bluestein. So if you're in South Florida, you're in your car, listen on 560 a.m. Or if you can get online, there's an app as well, Odyssey, Audacy. Download the Odyssey app or go to odyssey.com and you can listen online as well. Zay, the homie, thank you so much for watching. Yeah, he's talking about Armstead. He's elite. Bring him in. I'm with you. Don't overthink it too much. Cap for Life, one of our chronics. Thank you so much. If we let Armstead walk, that says all I need to know. I mean, it's not even like, I don't even think we would let him walk. I just think if something catastrophic would have to happen, right? Either he gets a crazy last second offer from somebody else, or he, God forbid, fails the physical. Like, it'd have to be something unforeseen for this not to get done. Ian from Brooklyn, thank you so much. Let's close in on Armstead. I would completely agree, Ian. William, thank you. Marcus, I think I may have shouted out Marcus already. He sneaks in again. Crash Out John, thank you so much. I would love to get both Armstead and Treader, by the way. I would love that. Gus, thank you, sir. Thank you for the kind words. And I think that's it. If I missed anybody, again, didn't do it on purpose, I apologize. We're going to do this again tomorrow. We're going to do it again tomorrow at 2 p.m., same time, same place. In the meantime, make sure you support the Quarterdeck Seafood Bar and Neighborhood Grill, locations all over Broward County. Find the one nearest to you at quarterdeckrestaurants.com. And yeah, make sure you guys take advantage of this. So much college basketball going on, so much NBA going on, so much hockey going on, so much international soccer always going on, and MLS soccer for that matter. BetUS.com. Use our code 5RSN125 to receive a 125% sign-up bonus. They have re-up bonuses as well after you get through your first deposit or after you cash out, whatever. They got re-up bonuses, so make sure you take advantage of that. Let me see if anybody snuck in here for shout-outs at the last minute. Oh, I didn't see this one before. Jeremiah, thank you so much. They better get him, talking about Armstead. And guys, when we talk to you again tomorrow too, hopefully we're talking about the newest Miami Dolphins offensive tackle. How about that? We will talk to you then on another episode of Donno Daily on the 5 Reasons Sports Network. See ya.